Hello, scientist. Today we're going to be learning how to stay safe as a scientist. So let's get started with our target. Today I will learn how to stay safe in the science classroom so that I can work safely during investigations. I will know I've got it when I can correctly answer questions about how to work safely as a scientist. So let's get started with this picture. Let me move myself up here. Okay, so what are the kids in these pictures? How are the kids in these pictures working safely as a scientist? So I'm going to let you take a look at the different things that they're doing in our pictures. You've noticed over here that scientists wash their hands. They wash their hands before they investigate and after they investigate. They always want to clean their area, their desk, their table, their workspace before and after experiments. They tell their teacher if anything spills or breaks. They don't goof around. No monkeying around when we're in science time. If they're measuring something, they want to measure very carefully. They always listen and follow directions. If we have animals in the science classroom, or as a scientist, we want to care for them and be respectful of them. Don't eat or drink anything without permission. It might not be safe. Be careful with hot or electrical appliances. And we want to wear our goggles. These are all ways to act safely as a scientist. So today during our lesson, I'm going to add to your Google classwork a link for a video about lab safety. As you watch, I want you to think about what are the scientists doing to stay safe. Now you can pause our lesson video and go watch the lab safety video, and then you can come back to this video. So watch lab safety video. It'll be in your Google Classroom classwork. Now that we've watched the video, we want to discuss a science safety contract. So I'm going to read some things on the safety contract. You're going to find your safety contract in your folder from Open House. If you're a boy, hopefully you have the boy contract. And if you're a girl, you've got the girl contract. You don't have both. So just look for one. It's going to be a smaller piece of paper. And so if you will grab that, while you're grabbing that, and if you need to put me on pause, that's fine. While you're grabbing that, I'll read to you the safety contract. I will follow our classroom rules. That's the first one. Number 2, I will ask questions if I don't understand what to do. Number 3, I will use all tools and materials as shown carefully and responsibly. And while I'm reading these, if you would like to be cutting and gluing and putting in your science notebook, let me pause there for a minute. We're just going to go to the next page. So on the page before, you'll have your scientist that you colored. On the back of the page, you can go ahead and add your contract. Just dots of glue in the corners like Miss Kendall taught you. Okay? So I think we stopped at number 4. Number 4, I will not taste, eat, drink, or breathe in anything used in our science activities and experiments unless I'm told to do so. I will tell my teacher if there's a problem or if something becomes unsafe to use. Number 6, I will work hard to keep other students and myself safe from harm. Now, after I have looked over that, and Ms. Colson's now read it to you, you want to sign your name. And when we sign a contract, we have to sign our first and our last name. And you might be wondering, should I sign it in cursive? Should I write it in print? You do whichever one you would like. But I agree to follow the rules on the science safety contract, and you'll sign right down here. And then, if you haven't already glued it in your notebook, go ahead and glue it in your notebook. And if you need more time to work, just pause the video. We're going to also talk about a new word today. Remember, scientists like new words. So we're actually going to talk about two words today: safe, free from danger or harm, and safety. That just means staying safe. Staying safe. Now today, you get to play a game. You're going to play the Safe Scientist game, and guess what? That's in your folder from Open House. It's going to look like this. It's a black and white copy. You see on here that it's a colored copy. So it's a black and white copy, and you can play it alone if you don't have anybody that's able to take some time to play the game with you, or you can ask somebody to play with you. If you play alone, you can just use two game pieces. So I was thinking what I might do is use a quarter and then use a penny, or use a nickel and a penny to be my game pieces. You're going to start on the game piece here. You've got some questions. They look like this. I don't have mine cut yet, but if you'll just quickly cut them out, these are your cards, your question cards. And once again, you can always pause the video while you're working. So you're going to cut out the question cards. You should have about 4 pages of them. You might have noticed the blank ones. If later on you think of some questions you want to add, then you can write them on there, but don't worry about that right now. And I want you to cut this out, but kind of hide it. And the reason being is because you have the answers to the questions here. Now you can check yourself after you've answered a question, but don't peek. And here's your directions. If you're not sure how to play the game, here's the directions. So what I want you to do is I want you to pause our video. I want you to get all your cards cut out. And I want you to see if you can play at least one round of it, answer a few questions. Now you might be wondering, well, where is my dice? Well, I'm going to load in your Google Classroom the link to this dice. And I'll just show you real quick how it works. And then you can play it on your computer. So I'm going to show you how it works on mine. So when you get to the link, and I'll load the link in your Google Classwork, here's your dice. Now you only want one dice, so you want one dice. Then you can roll the dice. And when you roll the dice, it's going to tell you how many. So like if this was my turn, I would move my piece 5 times. And then if it's the next person's turn, click roll dice. Oh, and they get to roll 5 times. Let's see if we can get another number. Back to my turn. 4. I'm going to move my piece 4 times. And each time I need to look at the game. And if I land here, then I get to slide all the way around. If I land here, I get to slide. Now your card might say something like, maybe your card says, how do you smell something when you are experimenting? And if you answer the question correctly, that's how many times you get to move. So let's take a minute and let's read the directions. The directions say, and remember they're on this page, place your game pieces at start. Then place all the game cards face down. Pick up one and answer the question. If you get the question correct, then I'm going to roll the dice and move that number forward if you answer the question incorrectly. Stay on your square and your turn is over. The first person to finish the finish line wins. And the finish line is here. So like I said, take time and you can pause. You can pause the video. You can work on getting your game pieces or your cards cut out. You can get your pieces for the game, and then you can play one round. When you get done with that, come back and let's talk about what's next. So now that you're back, I want you to think back to the lab safety video and the Safe Scientist game. And you're going to go back to your classwork and you're going to look for an exit slip. And on your exit slip, it's going to ask you to write about one way a scientist can stay safe as he or she works. Explain why following this rule is important. And during our Google Meet, we will talk more about it. We will reflect on those, but play the game. So let's talk about what we're doing today. We're going to watch the video. We're going to sign our safety contract and get it glued in our notebook. Then we're going to see if we can find somebody to play a quick game with us. Of course, you want to cut out your cards first. So cut those cards. Maybe you want to cut the cards while you're watching the video. That might help. Cut your cards if you haven't already cut them. Cut your cards and then play your game. And then when you're finished, look back on your Google classwork for the exit slip and fill in those 2 questions. And then I will see you in the Google Meet.